Billionaire catches black driver dancing with his paralyzed daughter. What happened, S? Beginning, the lonely mansion. Victor Harrington's mansion sat on the edge of the Pacific cliffs, glass walls curving out toward the roaring ocean. He was a billionaire known for his innovations in neurobiotech, the kind of man who could shift markets with a single press release. But behind the brilliance and wealth was a wound no money could heal, his daughter, Clara. Clara had been paralyzed from the waist down since a hovercar accident 2 years ago. Once a vibrant young woman who loved dancing, ballet, salsa, even old waltzes, she now spent most of her days in a custom-designed mobility chair, silent and withdrawn. Doctors said her spine had been damaged beyond repair. Even Victor's own company's cutting-edge neural implants had failed to restore movement. He loved her fiercely, but guilt gnawed at him. It had been his hovercar prototype she was riding in that day. Victor threw money at tutors, therapists, musicians, even virtual reality companions. But nothing reached her. She'd watch the ocean with empty eyes, her hands resting still on the armrests of her chair. Then came Jamal. Jamal Rivers had been hired as a driver, nothing more. A tall, broad-shouldered man in his late 20s. He had once dreamed of becoming a professional dancer, but gave it up after his mother fell ill, forcing him to work multiple jobs. Driving was steady work, and Harrington paid well. Jamal kept his head down, stayed respectful, and made sure Clara got to her rare outing safely. But what Victor didn't know, at least not at first, was that something extraordinary was happening in the quiet hours of the mansion. The secret dance. One rainy evening, Jamal was waiting in the garage after driving Clara back from yet another disappointing therapy session. He noticed music playing faintly from her suite upstairs, an old jazz track, something from her mother's era. Victor's wife had passed away years before, and Clara often listened to her records. Jamal hesitated, then climbed the stairs to check on her. He found Clara sitting by the glass wall, the ocean reflecting in her eyes. The record spun on an antique player beside her. "You like jazz?" Jamal asked, standing by the door. Clara glanced at him. "I used to dance to this with my mom," she said softly. "Now I just listen." Jamal nodded, stepping closer. "I used to dance, too." Her eyes flicked up, surprised. "Dance? Like actually dance?" He chuckled. "Yeah, I wasn't bad either. Want me to show you?" And before she could answer, he started moving, smooth, fluid, letting the rhythm guide him. Clara stared, then laughed, a genuine, bright laugh Victor hadn't heard in months. Something unlocked in her that night. From then on, when Victor was away in meetings or research labs, Jamal would come to her suite and dance. He taught her how to move her arms with the beat, how to tap her fingers on the chair in rhythm, how to sway her upper body even if her legs refused. Sometimes he would gently take her hands and spin himself around her, pretending they were dancing together. Clara's smile returned. She began to hum, to laugh, to lean forward with excitement when Jamal entered the room. For the first time since the accident, she was alive again. But Jamal also noticed something strange. As weeks passed, Clara's fingers twitched more strongly when she tapped the beat. Her shoulders rolled with greater freedom. Once, when he spun her chair around, she gasped not in pain, but because she felt a faint tingling in her thighs. Victor had poured billions into neural tech, and yet here Clara was, responding to something as simple as dance. One night, while they were laughing to a slow swing number, Victor came home early. He stepped into Clara's suite just as Jamal dipped low in front of her, their hands locked, music swelling. Victor froze. "What," his voice thundered, "is going on here?" Confrontation. The music screeched to a halt. Clara's eyes widened in panic. Jamal stepped back, hands raised. "Sir, Out!" Victor barked. "Now!" Clara cried. "Dad, please, it's not what you think." But Victor wasn't listening to him. It looked like betrayal, a hired driver overstepping bounds, invading the fragile world of his daughter. Rage and fear twisted inside him. He dragged Jamal into the hall, fists clenched. "You're fired," he spat. "Get off my property before I call security." Jamal stood firm. "Mr. Harrington, listen. I wasn't taking advantage of her. She needs this. She's smiling again. She's moving again. Don't you dare lecture me about my daughter." Victor roared. "I've spent billions trying to heal her. And maybe that's a problem." Jamal shot back. "You're throwing tech at her when what she needs is life. Music, joy, connection. Look at her. She's changing." Victor faltered just for a moment, but pride won. He ordered Jamal out. Clara refused to eat the next day. She sat silent again, eyes hollow. Victor felt his chest tighten. Had he made a mistake? Turning point. The experiment. Late that night, Victor went through Clara's medical records again, replaying old scans, recalibrating implant models. He noticed something curious. Neural pathways in her motor cortex had been subtly reactivating over the past month. Not enough for doctors to notice, but measurable. How? Then he remembered Jamal's words. "She's moving again." Could it be the dancing? Victor was a man of science. He set up discrete monitors in Clara's room and observed. When she played records alone, minimal neural activity. But when Jamal returned, after Clara begged her father in tears to let him visit again, the scans told a different story. Music plus social connection plus physical engagement triggered cascading sparks across her nervous system. It wasn't random. It was a pattern. Victor approached Jamal again, this time calmer. "Show me what you've been doing," he said. Together, they began a bold experiment, combining Jamal's dance sessions with Victor's neural stimulation technology. Jamal would lead Clara through rhythmic upper body movements, while Victor synchronized low-level stim pulses to the beat. The results were staggering. Within weeks, Clara moved her toes, then her ankles. One unforgettable afternoon, as Jamal spun her chair in circles to a roaring swing tune, Clara suddenly stood, wobbly supported, but standing. Tears flooded her eyes. Jamal caught her before she fell, holding her as she laughed and cried at once. Victor, watching, covered his face with trembling hands. For the first time in years, hope felt real. Climax, the gala revelation. Word of Clara's recovery leaked. Victor decided to unveil the breakthrough at a grand gala hosted in his mansion. Scientists, investors, politicians, all gathered to witness. He planned to present the Harrington Neural Dance Therapy Program, a marriage of human art and advanced tech. But he worried. The scientific community respected hard data, not a driver's dance moves. Would they take this seriously? When the night arrived, Victor stood on stage, giving a polished speech about neuroplasticity and emotional stimulus. Then he turned to Clara. 2 years ago, my daughter lost the ability to walk. He said, voice thick with emotion. Every therapy failed, until we discovered something different, something profoundly human. He gestured. The lights dimmed. Music swelled, a lively jazz piece. Jamal stepped forward, in full view of the elite audience. He bowed to Clara. Gasps rippled through the room as Clara stood, slowly, shakily, with Jamal supporting her hands. Step by step, she moved. Together, they danced. The audience erupted in stunned applause. Many moved to tears. Victor looked on, pride and humility washing over him. For all his billions, it had taken a simple act of humanity, Jamal's willingness to dance, to unlock what machines alone could not, ending a new future. After that night, everything changed. The Harrington Foundation launched a global program blending dance, music, and neurotherapy. Patients once deemed hopeless began to move again, not just because of tech, but because of joy and human connection. Victor offered Jamal more than a driver's job. He made him co-director of the program. "You reminded me," Victor admitted, "that healing is more than science. It's the soul." Clara, stronger each day, returned to the dance floor in earnest. She never forgot who gave her back her rhythm. Sometimes she teased Jamal, calling him her miracle partner. And as Victor watched them laughing together, he realized something profound. Wealth could build machines, but only humanity could spark miracles. The billionaire had caught his driver dancing with his paralyzed daughter. But instead of scandal, what happened next changed the world.